edition of Senior Showcase, and where we highlight a outstanding graduate from class of 2020. And excited to have Steph Brown with us today. How are you, Steph?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I am doing awesome, thank you. Now, if you wouldn't mind to just take a minute to introduce yourself and share kind of what you've been involved in at PR over the last 4 years.
All right. Well, I'm Stephanie Brown. I've been involved in the theater department for all 4 years at PR. I started doing the plays my freshman year, and I started doing the musicals my sophomore year. I'm an a cappella choir, and I've been in magicals now for 2 years. So I'm very involved in the whole performance aspect of the school, done a lot of that stuff. I've sung the national anthem, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you just look back on that, just this last year, what are some highlights of what you've experienced in the performing arts side?
Just this last year, I think the musical was a huge highlight. It was different from everything else we've done so far within these past 4 years, because there was tap dancing, and I think there were probably 2 people within the cast that actually knew how to tap dance. So it was interesting going through that long process, and it was fun failing so much because we were doing something we weren't used to doing.
Yeah.
So this year there was a lot of failure in something that I'm typically very comfortable in, and I think that was fun. That was really fun for me.
Oh, that's awesome. So did you learn how to tap?
I did.
Did you learn how to tap well?
I think.
Okay, well, good. Now, have you ever done any dancing before? I mean, obviously in the musicals, there's probably been some, but.
Yeah, I do have a dance background. I've danced most of my life, but never done tap. I've done mostly ballet, hip hop, jazz, just like the typical dancing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've done that for most of my life.
Now, tell me about your role in this past year's musical.
I was Polly Baker. I was the female lead in the musical. I had a southern twang. She was spunky, and I got to wear these cool 40s dresses, very Frank Sinatra, Fred Astaire era-y kind of thing.
Nice.
She was definitely the most favorite role that I've played thus far in the past 4 years, because she yelled a lot.
So is that more of your nature?
Yeah. Yeah, a bit more angry. Yeah.
Oh, well, cool. So you had the lead, and walk us through kind of the whole rehearsal process. How long from the time you get the script to when you go, you first perform, etc.
All right. So we auditioned, I believe, in early November. And that was towards the time when we had the big flu outbreak, not coronavirus, but the first flu outbreak. So everyone was sick. So that was an interesting kind of way to go about auditioning for singing. But we auditioned, and as soon as the cast was put out, we had our first initial rehearsal the next day. So all the cast and the crew were called. We got our scripts. And from then, we went straight into blocking the biggest dance number on the second day of rehearsal. And the way we typically attack it is in the beginning, within the first couple months, we get all the big dance numbers out, all of the big dancing and performing things with all of the cast. And then in like the 2 months leading up to the show, we start blocking throughout the acts and the different scenes. And then we start getting, exciting, and we integrate costumes and we get fitted, and it's really fun as we get closer to the show, because with the lights and the sound and the different props that you get and everything, it starts to come to life. And I think once we get to dress week and we actually get to do the show in costume, it feels so real, and it's so exciting. It's so exciting. So.
Well, that's terrific. So did you take up drama? I know you said you're involved in dance probably since you were a little girl, right? And then when did you get into drama? Or were you involved in like CYT or something beforehand, or what was kind of your progression there?
I actually moved to this area the summer before freshman year.
Okay.
So I was originally in Dundee. And the first dramatic performance I did, I tried out for the fall play in 8th grade just because I thought it would be cool. And my mom used to do theater a lot. So I kind of wanted to try that out and I loved it. It just ended up being something that clicked with me. And so then when I got into high school, I did my second play freshman year, the fall play. And I guess from then on, I got into choir and everything. And I slowly got into the musicals up to sophomore year. And it just slowly kind of enveloped my life. And now that's all I do.
Awesome. So, well then, what's next for you?
Well, I'm going out to California. My dad lives there, and I've done a couple shows this past summer out in California. So I know some directors and some producers. And so I'll be going to Santa Barbara City College to get the gen eds out of the way and save some money. And then the hope is I'll be heading off to maybe LA, just to a bigger performance university.
Got it. Now, just so you know, you had froze up on me, so I want to make sure. Yeah, you're not frozen now, so you're good. Um, so, is your dad's in the Santa Barbara area?
Yes, he is. Hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. So just beautiful with Pepperdine in the area and some of those beautiful area. Well, good for you. And you said you were in some plays already there this past summer. Tell me about that.
This past summer, I did Into the Woods in Santa Barbara, and it was my first time where I got to do a show with professional aspects, professional sound and professional light. I think that was really exciting. I got to kind of live there for 6 weeks, and kind of be on my own, go to rehearsal by myself, hang out with the cast people, et cetera, et cetera. It was an incredibly awesome experience. It kind of felt like I was an adult, but I was still a teenager. But yeah, I befriended the director, and the performance was really cool. There are a lot of cool people that live out in that area. Kenny Loggins actually ended up coming to see the show.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
his stepdaughter was in the show. So that was kind of a surreal kind of thing.
It would have been real surreal if you would have done some of his old songs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
really.
that's so was this like a community theater group or what kind of group was this?
Um, it wasn't the community theater group. It was a equity theater within the area, and I had done conservatories in the past with the director, and so he contacted me and asked if I wanted to audition for the show so I could send in maybe a video from Illinois. Um, and so it was cool because the cast had never met each other before. It was just people from all walks of different areas. Some drove from LA to go do it. Some lived in the area. So it was, the cast didn't know each other, and I think that was really cool.
Oh, nice. So how have well you said you're also in the madrigals, right? What have been some of the coolest performances that you've got to partake in with that group over the last couple of years?
Oh gosh, good question. Well, I mean, there's always the classic. We have the magical dinners, so that's always exciting because you get to wear your costumes and it's all regal and we get to act and everything. So the magical dinners are at the top of the list, but right up there, um, we did this one thing my junior year. It's very simple. It's interesting that this is up at the top of my list, but it was just we went caroling. We just put on our magical sweaters and some scarves, and we went door to door and we sang our songs. And that is probably my favorite thing that I've done with the Magicals out of all of the performances we've had, just because it felt so casual. And we had like hot cocoa, and we hung out at someone's house afterwards. It was just warm and cozy and all. Just we bonded. It was a great bonding experience.
That's great. How did the community respond to that? Did you literally just knock on doors, or what did you do?
They loved it mostly. I don't remember anyone disliking it. I think a couple people looked concerned. They, what are these teenagers doing on my doorstep? Should I be scared? But once we started singing, they'd all smile and they'd take out their phones. So the community reacted well. They all enjoyed the whole caroling aspect of the season.
Got it. Now, obviously with the quarantine here at the second half of your semester, how have you handled that? How have you stayed connected with your friends and fellow cast and choir people?
Well, just last week, a couple of my friends, we got in our cars and we drove to the PR parking lot, and we parked our cars in like a circle,
Yeah.
all six apart, and we sat in our trunk and we just ate food, and we had kind of like a picnic thing. That was really fun. I've also had a lot of Zoom calls with the Madrigals, and we just recently did this thing where we all, in our bathrooms with earbuds in, recorded ourselves singing a part of a song we sang earlier in the year, and Mr. Jensen's gonna piece that together for a little Zoom call song thing that he'll post. So
that's awesome. That's
singing
awesome.
together.
Now, what have you learned about yourself going through this process?
I'm really good at keeping myself busy. Doing absolutely useless things, I'm super good at it. I've found myself doing things that I didn't know were hobbies. We built a chicken coop.
A chicken coop?
So we own chickens now.
Okay.
Yeah. Gosh, I've learned that my sister and I do butt heads more so when we are always around each other.
Now, with that being said, describe your family, kind of who the members of your family are and their names and ages.
Well, I live with my grandparents and my mom.
Okay. Yeah.
So, we're Greek, and so I live with my yaya and my papuli.
Got it.
I live with my twin sister, Sammy, and my mom, Jamie. I think we're all kind of crazy, owning the chickens. My grandparents, it's interesting. We have a completely different dynamic now that we're all in the house at the same time.
Sure.
We started doing family game nights. We all play cards. I've learned that my entire family knows how to play poker. So we've been doing poker family nights.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you any good at it?
Yeah.
So you're the hustler.
I'll have money to spend when quarantine ends. Yeah.
Taking money from your grandparents? Come on now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No mercy. Absolutely no mercy. Oh, and we have our dog Bella.
What kind of dog is Bella?
She's a little fluffy Maltese.
Oh, cute.
Just like your dog, she's gotten super spoiled over this quarantine. And then she barks when we leave the room now. So she needs to have someone with her at all times.
Sure.
But yeah, we have an interesting kind of slightly crazed but having fun dynamic going on.
So Greek family, Greek cooking as well?
Oh yeah.
Have you picked up on any Greek dishes that maybe you didn't know before?
Yeah, actually, we had Greek Easter, and my mother made, I don't even remember some really long Greek word dish. And yeah, it was really good. It was delicious. My yaya's making Greek coffee.
Now, what's Greek coffee?
Incredibly caffeinated, very sugary coffee. Very bitter.
It's like a cappuccino type?
sort of, but take the bitterness and the caffeine and like triple it. I think my entire family is now addicted to caffeine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you start getting headaches after you leave home, then you'll know why.
Yeah. Yeah, we all have caffeine addictions, but the coffee's delicious. So at least we're happy.
Now, just so you know, Steph, you disappeared on me, so I don't see you at all right now.
Whoa.
Can you hear me? You know, sometimes if you just pick up there you go. You're back.
Nice.
Okay. We'll see. It just says your bandwidth's a little low, but let's hope that we're able to get through it.
Yeah.
Is there now? You said the family's cooking a lot. Are there some go-to takeout places that your family has kind of enjoyed of late?
Oh, Dunkin'. We've done
Dunkin'
Dunkin'.
Donuts
Yeah, my sister and I make Dunkin' runs all the time.
for coffee or donuts?
Both. They have the hash browns too, and the snacking bacon, and whenever we tend to go out, we kind of make a pit stop.
So any
Yeah.
excuse you can to head over to Dunkin'.
Yes, exactly.
Now, with you being a twin, what's next year going to be like for your sister? What is she doing? Where is she going? And how do you feel about that?
Well, we actually have a decent situation because we're both starting out at Santa Barbara City College, and we're both moving into Santa Barbara. So we won't be splitting up quite yet.
Okay.
But she plans to go into hospitality, and we both have our own colleges kind of planned out afterwards. So we're going to have to start practicing being as separate and apart.
Oh, that's terrific. How's mom going to feel about losing both of you?
Oh, gosh, we can't talk about it. We can't talk about it around her.
The tears are already starting, right?
Yep, it's a little too close for comfort for her. She's
Now,
already
when are you heading out west?
Well, at least I'm making a couple trips. My sister might join me out to California just to kind of start slowly moving things. We'll be moving in with our dad because it's close. So we already have a house set up, so we just have to move in. We'll probably move in beginning of August, just so that we can spend the majority of the time here saying goodbye to everybody and, getting the house clean.
Sure.
There we go.
It's like now I'm aging myself, but it's like the old days when we used to have these old TVs and we used to have to like put hangers on them to get a clear picture coming in.
Yeah, it's been so interesting having Zoom calls with classes because it'll freeze. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know what we're learning. What's happening?
Well, how has that gone for you as you finish out? Now, obviously, this week you're pretty much done. You got nothing really else to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the senioritis has finally caught up with me.
I'm sure.
A couple days and gone.
Now, you said you transferred to PR as a freshman, right? I mean, you came in as a freshman?
Yeah.
Okay, so over those past 4 years, you've obviously been impacted by some great staff and faculty. Are there a couple folks that really kind of stick out during that?
Yes, very, very specifically, Mr. Dusensky and Mr. Jensen. Mr. Dusensky has obviously, he's been the director for almost everything that I've been in. And more than that, he's just kind of become a friend I can talk to. If I'm ever feeling a little down or confused, I can just swing by his office and be like, Mr. D, I need help.
And he's a counselor as well, right?
Yes. Which is even better. He can tell when I'm having a bad day or if something's off in rehearsal. So it's been cool to have somebody that is so intuitive, kind of on my side and willing to listen if I need someone to listen to me. Mr. Jensen too. Mr. Jensen's more of a tough love kind of guy, but I'd say he's given me the tough love that I needed to go far and to continue to go far. And I think that because he's been hard on me when I needed someone to be hard on me, I'll be able to push myself to go farther in the future and now.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
How about in the classroom side? Have there been anyone that really you're like, oh, I'm going to miss that teacher in the classroom?
Yeah, Mr. Wadlington. I took social science with him this year, and he really is just such a good person, just a great person. He's been one of the few teachers to actually do just weekly Zoom calls, and we haven't talked about the class really. We've just kind of talked about random stuff, and it's just been refreshing. It's cool because he's someone that I can see really, really cares to talk to the students about things that maybe seem a bit teenage drama-y.
Yeah.
With a non-judgmental ear. So that's been refreshing, and it's been really nice to have that this year.
Oh, that's awesome. So now if you picture it's 10 years from now, you're 28, perfect world, where are you? What are you doing? Where you living?
Oh goodness. Oh wow. Well, I hopefully will either be on the West or East Coast, probably the West, LA or New York. And hopefully I will be getting money, regardless of how much, for doing the thing that I love and just performing. And regardless of whether if it's TV or theater or just acting or just dancing, anything. My goal is to just be in one of those places and making some money for doing what I love.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, you've heard the phrase once a wolf, always a wolf, right? What, now that you're graduating, what does that mean to you?
To me, it means that, we're all going off to all these different parts of the country. We're separating. We're starting these weird new
Now you're
lives.
back.
Oh, okay, I can hear you, I think.
That's awesome. You're back now. So you said everyone's going to be going off to all these different places around the country.
So everyone's going to be going off, but as I've seen my friends from college that graduated last year come back for the games and the musicals and all, once a wolf, always a wolf, it to me kind of makes me feel like regardless of whether I've been graduated for a few years or if I'm across the country, I'm always welcome to come back and sit down and watch a nice PR football game or go see a play or watch a lacrosse game, just kind of be involved in that life again and just kind of remember what it was like to be a wolf.
That's awesome. Now, outside of all that you're involved in the performing arts side, what were the things that you did enjoy doing at Prairie Ridge that you could just kind of relax or chill and not worry about being on per se?
Oh, my, oh gosh, this is so fun. Honestly, it was not even a specific thing. It was more just the environment of having my friends all in one place. And this is going to sound weird, but being able to complain about wanting the clock to go faster and wanting school to be over, I guess I miss talking. Can you hear me yet?
Now you're back.
Yay!
Sound on it.
We're going to get through this.
We'll get through it. We're almost there.
Oh, desperate times, desperate measures.
There you go. There you go. Now, what's one thing everyone knows kind of your obviously your persona, being involved with drama. What's something that people just don't know about you or kind of a unique characteristic or talent?
I think a lot of people don't know that I'm a journaler. I like to sit in my room and just write things. I have a journal. I like to just draw. And I don't think anyone's ever seen me do those things. I think a lot of people view me as kind of a needs to be out, needs to be social, needs to be going places. But I actually really, really sometimes just enjoy being by myself and just
Sure.
having my own time.
No, that's awesome. That's neat. Now, if you're talking to any junior high students that are about to come to high school, what would be a recommendation that you have for them as they enter freshman year?
Ooh, you can't slack your freshman year. As much as you think you cannot slack your freshman year because that's when your GPA is going to get its base, and it is so hard to make it go up from that baseline. You have to work so hard. So if you just do well freshman year, it is so much easier to just have a good solid GPA than have to struggle and like bring it up later.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, what message, if all of a sudden all your folks from the musical or from the madrigals or from any of your performing arts clubs would be listening now, what's one message you want to share with them other than being frozen? Hopefully it's not that, because right now you're frozen. So
Oh, you're frozen too. Oh, no, wait. Is it working? Is it good?
all right, now we're back.
All right. I would wish to tell them that I miss being exhausted after rehearsals with them. And I miss laying on the ground with our feet up because they hurt so much. And I miss making water runs because we're dehydrated and we're running a dance again in 2 seconds. I miss struggling with every single one of them because it's so much fun. It's just, I don't know, it is. It's so much fun to struggle with them. So I really miss that.
Oh, that is awesome. So this has been a real pleasure. I want to thank you for taking the time to kind of go through this. And you're now you cut out on me again. Boy, I'm going to be editing like crazy to get through this one.
Good.
But now I hear you. I hear you again. So, but you're an awesome example of just kind of a love for life and going after it and just having fun. And it's going to be so cool hearing about you in California and hopefully seeing you on a big screen or on the stage, right?
We can hope.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody just clap your hands. Clap your hands, everybody just clap your hands.
I gotta come here. And then I get this little guy coming. So you gonna say hi? You gonna say hi? He's an old guy. He's 13. So
Oh, what's his name?
Buster.
Oh my God.
So Buster's gets anxiety now when he's not with me. So he's definitely gotten spoiled through all this, right,
That's
Buster?
how my dog feels.
Yeah, okay.
Super spoiled.
Have you kept in touch with other people who have tried to pursue drama or singing or any of the arts?
Yeah. I know Elaine Cotter graduated quite a long time ago, but she went to PR and she's been on Broadway now. And just recently, Mr. Jensen set up a Zoom call and we got to talk with her. I definitely keep up with a lot of people. Not all of them have gone to PR, but I've made some friends that have been in the industry for a while and have tried, and some have succeeded, some haven't. But it's cool to keep up with them. It's cool to get all those tips and stuff and what's gonna go wrong, inevitably.
Yeah. What are you gonna miss next year when you look back on your time here in Crystal Lake?
I'm going to miss not having as much responsibility as I thought I had. Because I was like, oh, I'm 18. I have so much responsibility. This is so hard. And now things are becoming real, like paying for things and having bills and doing taxes and kind of starting to live on our own and doing all those things. And I think I'm going to miss having just a little tiny throw of responsibility while also being able to just, in reality, be babied. Yeah, the dependability of high school.
Well, maybe your dad will be able to baby you a little bit.
I hope. I can hope.